Hello, I'm Caroline, and this is a hostile takeover. Here I am in the Crochet Cakes household, and I am taking over her podcast this week. So, you didn't think I was going to get away with that, did you?
No. Of course not. I know everything that goes on in this house. Sure. For example, right now I can tell you that you will hear keyboard clackings very loud because my keyboard is very loud. You will hear my husband's keyboard clacking. You will also hear Zoom calls.
That are very
footsteps. Loud. Dogs snoring, potentially. Who knows? But that is not why we are here today. Oh no! Why are we here today?
They just closed the door.
Well,
we are back together again for the first time in 15 months. And so, in addition to sharing what we have independently been up to, we also wanted to share a little bit of our insights on what it feels, again, to join up with family and friends that we haven't seen in so long. And how different it has been, or how the same we find everything, and just share with you our, what would you call those, our COVID insights?
Yeah, observations.
What is family reunions after COVID or something like that?
Has to be a word for that. There should be a word for that.
I know, yes.
I can't think of it right now.
But I can't think of it either.
So, like we said, it's been 15 months since we've been together, and this is actually the second time we're together because Mom came over a week ago to stay for a week, and so did my sister. And
we were here and we left, and then we came back. So I probably have stronger opinions on how COVID has affected all of the family relationships than Clarissa, because she saw one part and I saw another. But that's part of what we wanted to share.
Yeah, we've been really insular. So, it's in this house, it's me, my husband, and my dog. And my husband and my dog pretty much keep to themselves during the day. So I was, even, I guess, before my marriage and before COVID, I was very used to having a person to bounce ideas off constantly. And sharing a space, a crafting space, and just a kitchen crafting space as well, because Mom and I, we would take turns. I would chop the ingredients, she would cook, she would chop the ingredients, I would cook, she would take over my cooking when I would cook. That's just all the family stuff that used to happen. So that would still happen when I would go visit home, because it's home, right? It's where you fall back on the person you've been, maybe, or you feel the safest, at least I do. So I don't know about you, but I would say that just because I spend most of my time with one human and one dog, it took a little bit of adjustment to having people in the house. It was, full disclosure, I think the second day I had to hide in my room for like 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I need to recharge. What is this? How do I interact with people again? Because you kind of, yes, we can talk over the phone and have communications via camera, but
they're not there, present.
So the essence is not there. You're not constantly sharing a space or constantly having a person whose energy may or may not affect you.
You don't have to keep up a conversation. You just, when it's just two people, you don't need to talk as much. Or getting back together again when we're trying to fill in all the blanks of what has happened over the 15 months. And
then you have so many things you want to talk about, but when they get here, you're like, oh, sup, hey. And then it stops.
So I guess we did find that we have changed over these last 15 months, like the people that I knew, the way I knew my children, their things like their favorite colors, their favorite type of jewelry, the way they like to dress. all that's changed. And we're not totally new people, but I would say that we are different. And so it's kind of like takes, I guess, some getting used to once again. At least I know that's the way we've been feeling. Excuse me?
Raise your voice.
Okay, so...
Use your teacher voice.
Use my teacher voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, so yes, I think that coming to, first of all, flying on a plane after so long was the first challenge.
I imagine.
Because we're still a little germophobic, and so we're still a little
people-phobic.
Frightened to be as close to people as you are in an airport or on the airplane. In the airport, it was still kind of easy to keep distancing and all that, but on the airplane it wasn't, because people were right next to you. So that was it, and both my husband and I felt that traveling is not the same as it used to be, where the ups and downs of the airplane were a little bit more dramatic for us than we had found in the past. So that's the first change. But then meeting up with my children again after 15 months, I believe just taught me that they have grown, they're different, they are like different things, they're more like mothers than like daughters and friends that they used to be. So they want to take more care of me in addition. And yes, I think it will take some getting used to.
And get used to actually interacting with other people physically and not just through a camera or a phone call that you can always hang up, and you kind of have that divide of you're together but not really.
You go your way and I go my way.
Yeah.
So that's the social part of this event. So yes, it's I know for most of us that have been very distant from our family members, it is going to be different, and it is going to be, there will be new experiences, because those people that you left behind 15 months ago might not be exactly the same now, because humans are forever growing and adapting. Yeah. And so that growth and adaptations makes them different. And so, but that's part of just sitting back and observing and sharing and understanding where we're at with each other. Yeah, for the good or for the bad, it's something we have to do again if we're going to begin these reunions more frequently, which is our hope, of course. I mean, I do hope that things are not going to go back, but we will be able to move forward now that, of course, we're very confident in our relationships, because we had all been vaccinated, and so I was sure that I wasn't bringing them any illness, and sure that they weren't transferring anything to me, and so that confidence has been also a good thing to share. In between, we have been crafting a bit, and so I guess we can talk about that.
Well, in the lead up to the visit, I wanted, and I'm actually preparing a blog post that will go live tomorrow. Today's Friday, so it'll go live tomorrow, Saturday. I'm preparing a blog post where I share just a tiny bit about why I made the finished object I'm going to share with you, which is a take 2. Anyway, the point is that on the lead up, since it's been so long since we'd seen each other, I wanted to just prepare little welcome home gifts for everybody. And I didn't know what to get my sister, because, well, her interests, as Mom said, have changed, and also she buys a lot of things she wants. She's not the type of person that'll wait a long time to get something if she really wants it. So I'd figured, I know she loves hand knit socks, but you guys know my track record with hand knit socks is about one every 2 months. So I did not obviously start early enough.
One every 2 months? That'd be kind of good.
Yeah, I finish a sock a month. Not mine. My socks never get finished because I'm still working. Well, I can't say I'm working. I haven't worked on them in four months. But they're there staring at me and judging me. Anyway, off track. The point was that I wanted to make her something and I had to do it in a timely manner, i.e. about 2 days. I had 2 days to do something. So yeah, I figured just do something a little quick. And I thought, well, my sister really likes hair accessories and she likes, you know, jewelry. She likes to dress up, you know.
She used to. That was another thing. She used to. She used to like bling, and she used to like to fuss with her hair and fuss with makeup, but I think we've all changed in that direction.
I still do it. If I don't wear makeup or feel confident in how I'm portraying myself, I can't work. I literally just laze about the couch all day if I'm not dressed appropriately. So basically I take my advice from a 1950s sewing machine. You remember when you sent that to me?
No.
It was a 1950s Singer sewing machine manual, and it said that before sitting down, make sure your dishes are washed, your laundry's put away, and that you're wearing makeup because you don't know if you're going to have to get up and answer the door and things like that. And I'm like, some people, and I can understand why some people be very offended by that, but I felt very identified because the amount of times that I had to answer the door full of threads from the sewing machine when I was sewing project packs for my business was numerous. So, you know, answering the door just like all covered anyway.
Yes, Clarissa has. It's kind of like sometimes sitting around here is kind of like watching maybe a Bewitched movie, the series, or an episode from, I don't know if it would be I Dream of Jean. I think Bewitched fits better. What are the other series from that age where women are always dressed proper and
I love that.
And well kept, just in case, and so they're even cooking with their dresses and their jewelry and their makeup, and
let's just say
cleaning with the dresses and the jewelry and their makeup. And
I've learned the beauty of aprons because of this. I've ruined a number of dresses not wearing an apron. So having all this in mind of wanting to dress up a little bit and wanting her to feel welcome, I made her a headband and scrunchie set. Actually, I didn't take a video or anything of how I did the scrunchie, but I do have a picture of the items finished. I believe I posted it on my Instagram account, but I'll just post it here so you guys can see. And of course, instead of just picking a headband pattern somebody had made, I found a stitch I like. I call it the keyhole stitch because it has like little windows. Oh my god, the camera is so far away right now. Right, I'll just put a picture. It's not gonna happen.
Well, there goes showing anything.
There goes showing anything. So we'll just look at it from here and put a picture so you can see it close up. But
because we look all close together, like we're taking up all the camera screen, we're right there in your face, but the camera is really pretty far away.
Let's just say it involves a sink, precarious. So just you know.
Yeah, we don't want to blow too hard. But we just wanted to be in a part of the house where we could be together and there wouldn't be like too much distraction behind us.
Yep. So I'm putting a little video here so you can see it, and this version is made in a fingering weight, 100% silk. It is a little bit big for my head because it's the standard 21 to 22 inches for a female head, but my head's 20 inches, so it is a bit 2 inches bigger. But since you can see it's got the it's not sewn, the connection is a little what do you call it? It's not a scrunchie.
It's a band.
It's a hair
like
band.
A ponytail band.
Yeah. So that's the join, and that allows for a little bit of leeway, so it doesn't
stretch also.
Stretch
if your head is bigger.
Exactly. So
so you made a couple of those.
I made one for her, yes, in a worsted weight cotton yarn that I just got at Walmart. Loved working with it, actually. I think, and I do mention this in the blog post in case you want to check it out, it's kind of a free-for-all cotton yarn. It would look good in a garment, like if you're making something loose, like a beach tunic or something like that. But it would also look really nice in the kitchen. Like it's sturdy enough for the kitchen, but also neat enough for just in case you wanted to make a garment with it. It is a worsted weight cotton though, so I personally don't like wearing cotton more than a DK weight, but you know, take that with a grain of salt because I have made worsted weight cotton garments. The key is to just make them cropped, loose, and you know, not tight on the skin. Anyway, back to the headband. This is the second version I made. It's made in a fingering weight 100% silk. I used a 2.5 millimeter hook, and for the version that I made for my sister, I used a 3.5 millimeter hook. Now, you might say, why did I write two different versions? And that's because you actually have to alter your stitch count. I found that if this looks a little bit thin, it's like 1 inch thick, and the other one's about 2 inches thick. So if I did the same stitch count that I used for the worsted weight, for the fingering weight, it would have been half of this size. So yeah.
Which might be okay for somebody. It all depends how you wear things.
So in the pattern, I include the, what do you call that?
I don't know.
When you, multiples. The multiples of whatever number, I can't remember right now, and how many chains you need to do if you want to make the band wider, or if you want to use a different yarn that I've used, because, you know, gauges, yarns, it's all very relative. I have a very loose gauge, so there's that. So that's my, I guess, 3 finished objects, because I did make 2 headbands and the scrunchie. I don't think I finished anything else.
Well, I haven't finished anything since the last time I talked to you guys, which was the, if you'll remember, the RBG doll that I gifted to my daughter, and she took home without a comment, so I can't tell you whether she liked it or not because no comment.
I can tell you she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous.
The doll or my daughter?
I'm kidding. Since we're talking about the doll here, I'm saying the doll, but I also think my sister's very pretty.
The other thing she told me was that, Mommy, I sent a picture to a friend of mine and she asked if you would make her one. So I'm thinking that there is some degree of acceptance and satisfaction in that type of comment. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
And pride too, right?
So since I've been back, I've worked on 2 things.
And we're going to pause because the camera's going to cut us off.
Okay,
and we'll be back.
Oops.
We're back,
So we're saying that I have only been working on 2 things that you've already seen, nothing new. Oh, well, maybe something a bit new.
Well, there's progress, so that's new.
Progress is always new, right? So Clarissa got to try on her sock, the Hermione's everyday sock, and it fits.
It's not gonna show up.
It fits. It might not be a perfect fit, but it fits.
I always find so amazing how different my knitting feels to how Mom's knitting feels. Mom's knitting is very dense and sturdy, and I love it. And mine is like a floppy, just dead fish going whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yours is a thinner fabric.
Yeah.
Because my gauge is really tight, because I'm always afraid of stitches falling off, so I hold on real tight. And this is a plumpy yarn. It's
Cascade.
What did I tell you?
Cascade.
I don't have the band here.
I know it's Cascade.
I've talked about it before. And so it's a thick fingering weight, and this is the second sock.
It's in a lovely
I've gotten it up to the stage where it needs a heel. But in order to make the heel, I need silence. I need silence, and I need to be alone, and I need to think, and it doesn't take a long time to turn the heel and make it, but I need that time where I'm not being spoken to. So I'm hoping, what do I have? I've got 2 more days here. So I'm hoping that in those 2 days I can finish the sock.
See, that's not going to happen because I'm a talkative person. So when I'm crafting with Mom, I'm yakky-dakky and Mom's going to be like...
You can't. Because in order to do the heel, although... How many socks have I knit? What do you think?
Let's see, there's that Christmas one that didn't fit me.
The one that didn't fit you.
Then there's the one you gave me for my birthday, which was supposed to be a Christmas one.
Was it knit?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that one. Okay, and it fit?
Sort of.
Okay. Oh, I think I do remember those.
Yeah, it was the K. Jones Christmas colorway.
Oh, the
something.
pink ones.
Yeah, with the onion.
And I made one for my daughter that didn't fit her, so I kept it for myself. And then I made another one of K. Jones socks for myself. So maybe I've done 5 or 6 pairs of knit socks. And I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, I always make them toe up, and I always use the Sockmatician's sock recipe. And he always used a German short row heel, so that's what I do. No changes there. And I always have to read the recipe when I get to the heel.
I mean, to be fair, that happens to me a lot with knitting. I'm not a skilled knitter reader. It's not a language I speak. So,
well, the thing is that since it's a recipe, sort of, it's not organized, like do this first, this second, then you have to go back and forth a lot. And I have it printed out at home, but here I don't have it printed out. So I'm kind of like, how am I going to do this? I need two or three monitors so that I can look at the different. I guess I could do that because your dad fixed that laptop. So I'm thinking about getting the heel done tonight, and then tomorrow I can work up the leg.
Oh, that's good because we did finish the Spanish series we were watching. It was Morocco, Love in the Times of War. It's a Spanish series, but it's got English subtitles. And it's from 2017, but yeah, they never did season 2. So each episode is 1 hour long. There's 13 episodes, so that was 13 hours of our lives spent trying to figure out what was going on.
No halls, no ladders.
Oh look, it actually blurred out, so all I need to do is cover your face.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's showing up really nice, yeah.
Let's see if we can get the heel. I'm always proud of my heels after I do them.
Well,
Come on,
it's
you
focused.
can do it.
You know what this means, right? It means that I'm not the focus of the podcast.
Well, this is a hostile takeover, so what did you expect? So, hopefully I'll be able to leave these with Clarissa. And this is her belated Christmas gift.
That's my birthday gift.
Was it? I thought it was the Christmas swap.
I don't know, I'm confused. I don't understand why I have 2 pairs of socks, but that's okay. So,
yes, this was a swap.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I made socks for you. Yeah. I didn't put a heel in, though.
No. Okay, so then you want to talk about yours? Do you have anything work in progress you want to mention?
I do actually. I posted a picture on Instagram about this project this week, and I've also written a blog post that, as I mentioned on Instagram, I will have to edit because I am
You
working.
ripped it all back?
No, I started the second half.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know where the first half is though. Now that you ask. Oh boy, I know I have it. It must be in my bedroom. So I am working on what is this?
Bottle cover or
A hot bottle water
cozy.
Wait, let me cover your face. So I am working on this. I finished the first half of this hot water bottle cozy, and because you guys know, this is a problem with me. I will make something and be so confident in the way that it's working up that I will not have to measure anything against the object that I am crocheting for or person I am crocheting for. So when I actually got around to measuring the piece of the hot water bottle cozy.
Do you even have a hot water bottle?
I did. I bought one specifically for this purpose. So when I actually got to the point of, there we go, this way. That's the OG hot water bottle cozy, and it's from Lulu Loves Romantic Crochet book. This is the 3rd item from that book that I am making, and it's really hilarious because if it weren't because I can see your hands, I think I would have split the screen. It's so cool.
Can I do down?
No, you're fine. So anyway, I made the first half, and I realized that either my hot water bottle cozy is smaller or my gauge was somehow bigger because it was too big.
Oh, for the water bottle?
Yeah, so I had to rip
but
back.
Remember, the bottle is going to be filled with water.
Oh no, it's not too big width-wise. It was too big
lengthwise.
Lengthwise, yeah. So I had to rip back a whole repeat and actually eliminate that repeat and just work on the decreases, eyeballing where the bobbles would go. Because if you notice from the picture, the bobbles kind of form this little just dots, mounds. Yeah, you can see that better there because it's a solid color. So you can see that it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 lined bobbles. So I just basically eyeballed them in the first half. And I am using Watermelon Cooler. This is the colorway of Crafty Reunion Treats very original base. This is 100% Romney or Lambswool. Romney Lamb. Are they the same sheep? I should have researched this. So it's 100% one of those. And either, I feel like such a doofus right now. But the point of it is, this is woolen spun. So I tend to use it kind of a sport weight yarn. Of course, the pattern called for a worsted weight, but we're ignoring that. It also called for a 4.5 millimeter hook, and I'm using a 4 millimeter hook. And even with that, I got her gauge width-wise. I just, for some reason, have a longer. Like
how much yarn is this going to take?
I don't know because, as usual, we designers just write how much yarn you should buy, just in case it takes you more or less. So I believe she said 100 grams or more. No, I think it's 150 grams because it comes in 50 gram balls and there's 3. So here, it says, oh, it doesn't say how many. It doesn't say how many. 3 balls, there we go. It says 3 balls and they are 50 gram balls, 115 yards each. So
150 grams.
Yeah, you need 150 grams of yarn total, and I just have 100 grams of yarn here, and I think I'm gonna have left over. So what you do after you join your pieces—
But you couldn't have used a double.
No, I don't think so. What you do when you join your pieces is that you do a little kind of ribbing at the top, so to cover the top of the hot water bottle, and that is, I think I'm halfway through. So hopefully this will be finished by the next time I podcast, because I want to see it done. You know me, I get to a point where I'm like, this has got to get finished by.
Is it slow? Are the bobbles slow?
Yeah, I find that I'm slow crocheting bobbles. I am actually very slow, because you kind of have to do bobbles every certain number of stitches. And you know you do the bobbles on
because you want this shape here.
Yeah.
Of 4.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm not really following the pattern. I'm just looking at where my bobbles are, and I'm like, okay, so this next bobble has to be here, and this other bobble has to be here. So that's just me. That's my only— I'm not going to say only work in progress, because, well, it's the only project I am making any progress in, because all the other ones have been put in hibernation, involuntary hibernation, because honestly, it's just that I haven't worked on them, because I want to get this one finished.
Mm-hmm. And then try and focus on, like, I haven't had done anything else because I'm trying to focus on getting the sock done.
Yeah.
Oh, plus we were,
well, I'm writing
on vacation, and so you don't want to be crocheting all the time on vacation.
And I had two commissions that I was working on too. So I got those sent off. I got the pattern sent off for one, and I finished the pattern for the other commission, but I want to review it before sending it, of course, and it needs to be edited. So I just finished the rough draft of the writing, essentially.
And I was crocheting a little bit here when I was here, and then I went off to visit my son in New Hampshire, and it was very, very cold. For me, for us. Wasn't, 45-degree weather, but
that's cold.
And it was actually colder in the house than it was outside, which is kind of ridiculous, but I'm the type of person that when I feel cold, I freeze. Mm-hmm. I bundle up and I don't want to move and I don't want to do anything.
I do the
same. Even though working with the wool, even though this was fingering weight, really did get you a lot warmer.
But my hands are too cold.
But since I was working with the wool, it was okay to. But the other project I was working on is cotton linen, so that didn't help keep anybody warm. But I did try and work on the planes while we were traveling, and tried not to fall asleep while I was doing it, which is I'm very bad at. And the other project that I have is the promised Eat Cake sweater. That is Clarissa design. And I am, okay, I've got one hank left of this summer bouquet yarn. That was from Forbidden Woolery back when it was called that. And it is, as I have said before, it is a cotton linen blend. And kind of like see the speckling.
Yeah, so I think I would say it's a light blue gray base.
It's a grayish blue base, yes, with speckles of blue and yellow and green all throughout. And this is what it looks like up to now. If you remember anything about what we've said about this project, it is a top. It is made using modular crochet. I don't know why I'm going to do this because you can't really see any
Oh,
of
Mom,
it.
that's too short.
But I just wanted to show you. Well, it isn't on right, is it? I don't know. Anyway, this is what it would look like when you crochet it up. I thought it looked kind of nice.
I love how the colors are turning out. There's a nice bit of speckling.
So this is actually what you've got here is the middle, because you work on this piece first, and then you work all the way up and around to make this big old rectangle, which is the front and the back. Right in the back. So I am missing the other side panel, which comes from all the way down here, all the way around, up and back. And then when this side panel reaches about 8 inches, then I will have both the front and the back complete.
And then she'll block it.
It'll be just left to make the sleeves.
It'll be interesting to compare how much this yarn blocks to the one I use, because if you guys remember, I also made a cotton linen version of the Eat Cake sweater, and it blocked an enormous amount. But
and you'll see it.
I was using a 4mm hook, and Mom is using a 3.75mm hook, so I do not hold out much hope for blocking, increasing much of anything in this garment.
I probably should have stuck with the 4mm hook, because
your gauge is much tighter than mine.
I liked the thickness of the fabric with the 3.75. But as I have worked on it, I have also thought that it would not have looked bad with a 4mm hook.
Look at this cute row counter I found in Mom's project bag. Yeah, this camera doesn't like me today. It's like, no. Okay.
No faces. Well, it doesn't have any battery. That's why it's in there.
Oh.
So anyway, this is going to be my sweater. As Clarissa mentioned, I think it is a bit short, a bit more cropped
than I wanted.
has Clarissa
very indecently blurted out while she was looking at it?
But yeah, I thought about the possibility of adding a hem to it that is not in the original pattern.
I would, if you're going to add a hem, I would add it after blocking, so you can kind of see what stitch would look better, how much it I don't know. I just feel that I like to add my hems after blocking. That's just me, personal.
Yes, but I think it'll look okay.
I really like those colors.
But like I say, it would have looked fine in a 4mm hook. The fabric would have looked fine. And
also,
you'll notice that as you saw in Clarissa's sweater, she alternates back loop only and squish single crochet. So I think it gives it a nice change of texture along, which also helps the fact that it doesn't
get bored.
Pool. It doesn't pool.
Oh yes, because
of the splotches in the yarn. It doesn't, because
that was
things change, and so
a fortunate side effect because the original pattern is written for a speckled yarn, a lightly speckled yarn, which this one I would consider lightly speckled. It's just also a tonal, it's not a solid base. I love this yarn, is really pretty. But anyway.
So I thought I would be able to finish that while I was here, but now I don't think
I
so.
tried to convince her to let me work it up for her so that, I don't know why, but I thought I should work it up for her.
At this point, I think I might end up just taking this first make as an experience and making it over again. Because if it's going to be too small, I'm not going to wear it. So,
well, we can trade if you want.
I did find that using that cotton linen is, I don't know, I guess it's not the most satisfying type of yarn to work with.
It really isn't.
Because there's no stretch to it, there's no spring to it, it's rough sometimes. The only thing that has kept me going is the fact that I like the colors that come up every once in a while, those spots of colors and because I like the fabric the way it looks. But yes, we'll see what happens. I don't know, I doubt I'll finish it on this vacation, so I might have to bring this up again on a future episode. And that's it. I've only been working on that.
I've been working on a design as well, but I don't know. I'm not ready to share that yet. I don't know. It's not that I don't know if it's that I'm shy about it. I really want to see it finished, and it's one of those projects that I'm enjoying working on it so much, but I kind of want to keep it to myself until it's finished so that I can see if my idea translated and if I'm actually happy with it. I guess that's why I don't want to share it. I don't want to create expectations and then be like, yeah, you remember that? I ripped it all back.
Yeah, like me, right? You know how beautiful this looks now, and then, oh no, I had to rip it all back because it didn't fit. But, those things happen. And part of what we do here should be about sharing the whole experience from start to finish.
That's
because
true.
Sometimes if we play the show and tell game, then the only thing we're doing is just giving the false expectation that everything can be done quickly and without suffering.
I actually had someone comment on that, that they were not intimidated, but they were like, wow, you make garments so fast. I'm like, oh, no. Do not be deceived, my friend, by the lies of Instagram. Making a garment is an ordeal that takes, if I'm only working on that garment like I did for that commission, it took 2 weeks. So that was, I thought, very fast for me, even though it was a worsted.
Well, you were working on only that.
And I ripped it back like 5 times.
Well, yeah, that's part of the design. But I was thinking if I were to take like a pattern that she has already worked on and work it up, it doesn't, like, for example, the
oh my god, yes,
the crochet flower.
Yeah, the flower child top. Mom made it in 3 days, and I'm like, that took me months.
Right, because it's a total different experience when you are designing it as to when you're making something that somebody else has written up, and depending on how clear it is, you can really
I really liked
zip through it.
The way you worked that pattern, because I think it really showed how you can adapt things to different body types and also different age groups, because the flower child top, and I'll put a picture here, is it's got a lace panel right down the middle, and some people might not be comfortable showing that amount of skin. So what Mom did was that she sewed, she crocheted in linen another just double crochet panel, and she attached it to
on the inside.
Only
to that part, so that the garment wouldn't be heavier than it already is, and I wouldn't have to wear something under it.
Yeah. So I thought that was a very clever thing to do, and it also shows how a designer will design something, but we don't know everybody's body types, we don't know everybody's preferences. So I think it's really great when people that make your patterns make changes to them, because you can see, oh, okay, so that's what a person that doesn't like this would do to that, or that's interesting, I didn't think about that.
I always feel it is much easier to take something that somebody else already invented and make changes in it than to work from scratch. So yeah, I mean, I purchase a pattern and they just give me a starting point, and then I can take that wherever I want to take. And so I try not to do things because the designer designed this for another age group. And so I try and say, well, how can I adapt it to my age group?
Or your preferences.
If it's a pretty pattern, and I'll try and do that. And so, yes, I probably should have done that with this eat cake, but I made this small. I probably should have made them medium because it would have had more stitches, and most likely would have been longer.
Yes.
And it would have been wider. So, and this yarn does not stretch as much as the wool that she used initially, so I probably should have gone up a size.
Although I have to say my linen stretched a lot.
Yes, but I don't see that in this one.
I made the extra small, and it stretched to the large size.
And I don't see that happening with this one, but we'll see.
So that's us, what we've crafted together. It's been great to be able to sit down next to a real live person and talk about what you're working on, and just sharing, and just actually having someone physically there next to you doing the same thing you're doing is a nice feeling, I have to say. Mostly we've just talked about crochet and what we want to crochet, and how we would move forward with my blogging business, because the idea of my blogging venture is that when I get to be levels of awesome, I will hire my own personal creative director.
Well, you've gotten more opportunities, I think.
I have.
As of late.
It's been
Stay tuned in the fall where there will be some patterns published in different magazines or sites that Clarissa has designed. And so, who knows, maybe we'll get there little by little.
That's the plan, feed my dreams, feed my belly with, paychecks. But yeah.
There was something, I think it was just that you mentioned that a viewer had said something to you. One of the viewers on the Mind and Muse podcast asked me, there were a lot of people who were congratulating me on the fact that I'm going to have my first grandchild.
Oh yes.
In November, which is kind of cool because
it's not me.
When you have grandchildren, you don't have to go through any pains or headaches.
It's not me.
No, it's my son, whose wife is going to have a child in November. And someone asked me if they would now be seeing baby crochet, baby patterns and projects on my channel. And well, I thought about that for a while. I said, there have been moments when other podcasters have had their children and everything has become about baby makes. And I've just tuned into something else for a while because that wasn't my jam. It wasn't what I was interested in. And I was like, but if I sit down and actually think about it now, I think that could happen. I mean, maybe it won't be totally about baby makes, but I think we're going to be seeing some baby makes appear because there are some gorgeous little tennis shoes that they make for babies, and
little jumpers.
Yes, my daughter-in-law has found some patterns that she would like me to recreate, and Clarissa has some patterns that she's been able to grade all the way down to the infant size. Well, at least she's trying to get there. And so I figured, we could test them by making some little patterns for the newcomer. And so, yes, those of you that asked, maybe, although I had always thought that would not happen, you will be seeing some baby makes on upcoming episodes on my channel. So
those are fast to make, so that's fun.
That's a good thing. They're fast to make, so maybe instead of jewelry, I'm making baby slippers or something like that. But yeah, like we were saying about our encounters after these 15 months. Well, as crafters, we also change over time depending on what occurs in our life. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? As we get older, we make different things, and so you have to kind of like be willing to change along with the designer and the maker or the podcaster, or just maybe change the channel. I don't know, because it's just like watching TV. Nope, don't want to watch that. I change the channel. But yes, I'm thinking about blankets, and I am thinking a bit about slippers, and I am thinking a bit about baby sweaters and tunics, especially because they live in the New England area. So, I mean, if they were living in Puerto Rico, I wouldn't be thinking about any of that.
None of that. I only have plans to make a pillow. I actually have this is the one that sits in my living room and my dog takes over. It's been washed. I'm just saying. This is a pattern by Laura of Susi Mew. It's written in Spanish, but it's fully charted, so anybody can make it. And I have plans to make this for my niece or nephew because I just think it's really cute. It's gender neutral, and when she gets older, she can still cuddle with it. So, something to grow with her.
I believe that we change, and like I have said in the past, I was really never an amigurumi fan, and yet I have found myself making
a ton of them.
So not a ton, but making enough of them and even finding them pretty. And this is my next amigurumi.
Let me hide.
Hide your face. Hide your face. There you go. This is by Crafty is Cool. And that's the Vice President of the United States.
Kamala Harris.
So, yes, my daughter also requested that one. So, yes, different strokes for different folks. I think it's kind of interesting when you're watching a channel that changes things over every now and then and doesn't get you into a rut.
And so, there's space for growth. That's a very important thing.
And change.
Mm-hmm. So that is us for today and for this mom-daughter podcast special. And yeah,
hope you are all happy to see us together again.
And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. My name is crochetcakes, and you can follow us on Instagram, Ravelry, Pinterest, anywhere basically, and all the links to everything we talked about will be in the description box below if we can find them. And just thank you for spending a little bit of crafty time with us today.
Remember, there will not be a Mind and Muse Crafts episode because we're doing this episode jointly together. So yeah, I hope you'll forgive me for that one, but we'll see each other again in a couple of weeks.
Yep. So thank you for tuning in, and happy crafting, guys.
Bye for now. Terrible bare hair day.
Okay. You
You're gonna put that old music on? I think you could.